Gradually, we are heading to the pit of hell. Gradually, that country is just collapsing. As although what joined us together ended in December 2013, that was when the 100 years amalgamation expired. The same amalgamation is what the British had with China regarding Hong Kong. The same man, Frederick Lugard, he is the one that signed the treaty, 100 years. That was how the British Empire took over the Hong Kong. And when the 100 years reaches, I think that was in 2017. I mean, 2017 or something like that, yeah. Then the 100 years reaches, and then the transition from the British Empire to the Republic of China took place. And this was how Hong Kong, British returned back Hong Kong. They didn't return it because they wishes to. It's because they see the might of China and they have no option but to return it. Ours, because they see us as the jungles, where there is no law applies, and we are the black monkeys, where our fate have been decided by the master. So that rule will not apply to us. The only rule is for us to continue to be the obedient slave and do what the master said. And then using the willing tools to hold us down. The willing tools are the ruling class from the foreigners they brought in to be the ruling class of Nigeria and rule on their behalf. And they are ruling everyone with iron fist. When you speak, you end up in a graveyard or you in exile. When you are in good times with them, you receive all the promotions, everything that life can give, can offer. Hong Kong was handed over peacefully, but ours, they continue to patch. You know, a building that was built without a foundation, it doesn't matter what you try, how hard you try, the building must surely collapse. Now with this one, there is an expired date set that heaven and earth, the bird and the air bear the witness that this was agreed for 100 years. Despite it was forcefully amalgamated, it was not agreed by the people of that time. And in 1917, the newspaper in that Lagos revolt. Even before that, 1914, they revolt against the amalgamation of Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate. Because the Northern Protectorate was the Mohammedan Emirate of the North. This is the word that they wrote Lugard. It called the Northern area Mohammedan Emirate of the North. It wasn't because of anything, it's just because of economical value, so that they can transport things, granite from the north to the south. And then because they made so much profit from the palm oil, and they want to amalgamate us so that the north can survive through the leeches. Leeches, leeches glue on something to survive from that leeching on you and soaking you dry. That doesn't produce anything, that doesn't add anything value to the system. So Mazi Nnamdi must be released. Otherwise, what happened to Buhari will happen to the current man that took over that city. It doesn't matter who is pressuring you to not to honor that. If you love your life, you set him free ASP because your court has already done so. But if you hate your life, continue to deny him his right and see what will happen to you. Now, talking of Mazi Iyke health, he need an urgent medical attention, and he cannot get it from that DSS. When the late Buhari had an ear problem, he quickly ran to Europe. There is no facilities. And when Al-Zakawi, pardon me if I pronounce the name wrong, but this is the Shiite leader of the North from Kaduna, when he was incarcerated in DSS dungeon. When the man was sick, they took him to India. And they didn't do it proper, they took him to France. Now, why do they want to conduct a surgery in DSS for Mazi Iyke? The answer is very simple and short. They want to eliminate him. And those that are behind organizing this, all of them, they are the people working with the enemy to make sure Mazi Iyke do not come out of DSS alive. All the pressure should be to allow his doctor, his private doctor, to come and see him, even release him to go and seek a medical attention. Not sending people there that is working with the enemy to make sure they eliminate him there, just like what they did to so many people. And I must warn all of them. Mazi Iyke is a leader of Biafra of more than 50 million people. If anything happened to Mazi Iyke, you will see our madness. IPOB being quiet and peaceful does not translate that we will become if there is a scratch on Mazi Iyke. As I have said here, it's not a threat, but it's a promise of what is to come if Nigeria government do not release that man. All this money you send abroad, you banked, your family, everything. Remember, IPOB is all over the world. Always know this. We can reach you anywhere you wanted. Even those that are even here in Australia. Do not think you can escape it. Now look at what they are doing to our Igbos, Biafrans, because they do not differentiate. We are Nyamere, so long you are from eastern Nigeria. We are Biafrans, and Fulani called us Nyamere. It doesn't matter how you try to separate yourself. We have seen their wickedness, destroying the market, the building, just to make sure they destroyed us, just to make sure that we are poor, just to make sure that we are destitute, just to make sure that we turn to beggars. And we urge, we have been playing the jingle on this radio, and we have been saying it many, many years and time without number. There is nothing in that Lagos that you cannot do in Biafra land. Biafra land is beautiful. Biafra land is well developed. Apart from the seaports, international airport, the light, we make sure we provide light for ourselves. They do not give us light, we know that. We must return back and build all those things in our land. If you take out Lagos and you take out Abuja, These are built by the federal government and the citizens of that country. There is no other state in that country that you will compare it with states in Biafra land. None of them are developed too close to Biafra land. And yet, we are not part of their government. They denied us everything. We said we want to grow. They said, no, you cannot grow. We said we want to be shorter. They said, no, you cannot be short. We said we want to stand up. They said, no, you cannot stand up. We said we want to sit down. They said, no, you cannot sit down. Still, we're able to achieve all these things. That is why it's important. Now is the time eastward. IPOB has been campaigning this for more than 10 years now. But it's our duty to always remind our people that there is no place like home. It doesn't matter where you get your wealth. If it's not built in Biafra land, you are at the risk. They only said, people learn from the history. It's only a fool will allow the history to repeat for the second time. We should have learned, or those should have learned, because all my life, any opportunity coming on the door, oh, there is a land in Lagos, Abuja. I remember when Abuja, very cheap buy. I swear, I said to them, even if you give a land to me in Lagos for $1, I will not buy it. Even if you give me the same amount in Abuja, I will not buy it. My investment will not exceed Biafra land right from onset. Because I learned the history and I understand it. History has a funny way to repeat itself. And gradually it's repeating itself. It may not repeat exactly, but if you sit closely, you find out that it's exactly the wave is what is blowing, both local and internationally. And we must rise up. The world is changing as we speak. We should not sit behind and wait until Chukwuka will come and give us this in our hand. Nope. The main battle has been fought. IPOB has come a long way. Regardless of those that are coming to distract us, going back is not an option. We have far gone beyond. Biafra is our destination. We need to remain strong. Yes, freedom fighting is not easy. The enemy is doing everything possible. They are planting seeds here and there, putting confusions among people instead of us to focus, to talk about the current affairs, the pillage of what we are facing. Rather, we allow the enemy to plant the seed, and then you start talking about something else. Someone from there bring a different topic. You miss your track and start talking nonsense. And then people by the side will be laughing. Those that are instigating this will say, yes, this is exactly what we want. And that's what we want them to be doing. And they will be pouring more fuel and then giving you that support. We support you. Go forward. God will punish them. We are behind you. You are doing the right thing. Without you knowing, or indirectly or directly, you know what you are doing. You are destroying. We destroyed ourselves. We fought ourselves on behalf of the colonial masters, and then we defeat ourselves, and then the British came in and then sweep off everyone out of Arochukwu. Only the babies, all their dogs were wiped off. So that our history will be completely forgotten forever and ever. The same thing is happening. The enemy cannot come in and do the fight by themselves. Rather, they are using us. They are using us. And when we said, I'm angry, angry for what? Many people have died in this struggle. Many are widows. Many are orphans. Many are still in incarceration. Many are disabled. And you said you're angry. Shove your anger. I don't want to use the word, but just shove that anger somewhere else, and then either you give away and go and focus on your anger, attend a kind of anger management course, and then learn how to calm down, or you exit entirely, so that those that are in business, because our boss is heading to one direction, and that is Biafra, the destination. On this note, I would like to hand over the microphone to my colleague, Mazi Iyke. If you are here, I yield the mic to you. Thank you.
There were Mazi Former. Thank you so much. Your speech was powerful, as always, and you've really opened up an area I would like to obviously focus my discussion tonight, my contribution tonight on. But before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge the presence of my colleagues here tonight from IPOB Australia. And of course, our wonderful Wednesday night audience. Wednesday night, I say, because it's night over here. I'd like to thank Mazi Iyke for hosting us. Thank you all for joining us and sharing this night together with us. Biafrans, it is very important that we do not lose track of what we're doing and where we are going to. The most difficult thing, someone that has been on expedition, someone that has started a journey, one thing you must not do is to obviously lose track of your geography, of your location, because when you lose track of where you are, and especially track of idea of destination, track of how to get there, then you're gone. You will never successfully make that journey. You will not reach the end. And it will be a journey unnecessarily difficult journey for you. And you do not want that. If you want to sail smoothly, and if you want to get to your destination on time, or within the planned time frame, and they want everything to go as planned, you must not lose track of your direction. This has been the stand of IPOB. This has been the purpose of Radio Biafra. Before we were formed as IPOB, Radio Biafra came into existence. We all came, IPOB is a formation under microphone. It was the voice of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi, that assembled us, mobilized us, and built our capacity as an organization. There was a reason for this. There was a reason as to why we did not kind of assemble together before we started the Radio Biafra. There was a reason that Radio Biafra was, if you like, the instigator. That Radio Biafra was where we were incubated as an organization. That Radio Biafra gave birth to IPOB as a global movement championing for the self-determination of Biafra as we know it today. There was a reason why IPOB is a child of Radio Biafra. And that's why we say on Radio Biafra we worship. Today, I would like to, or tonight, sorry, I would like to continue from a topic I find very, very interesting. I was planning to already say something about this, but Mazi Iyke has already touched that, and I think I'm going to, make it a focus of my contribution tonight. I already talked about not losing track, but I want us to understand what is going on. And I'm going to use a Christian analogy for those of you, because I know most of you are very, very much into Bible and all the stories there. I want you to reflect on the idea. When you say Satan tempts you, I was tempted by Satan. I was done this, I'll do that. What are you actually saying? You tempted, something made you to act out of character, out of your Christian character, to act in a way that is below the Christian standard, all right? To act out of character, out of moral character. Yeah, that's what you're saying. But you see, you're never tempted to do what you do not like. What brings a man down is something that appeals to them. You must be tempted by something that always appeals to you. The deceiver, now I move away from certain kind of thing, let's come to reality. In reality, your enemy will always try to get into your business and to bring you down to the things that appeal to you. Appeal to your consciousness, appeal to your taste, appeal to your, not necessarily to your consciousness, but appeal to your either material taste or even immaterial taste. Maybe sexuality or taste for money, to acquire more money, or even taste for food. It's always by the things that appeal to you. Because if they come by the things that do not appeal to you, then they're not going to succeed. And like Mazi Iyke said, they always come through somebody you know. So attraction is number one. Recognition, relationship, somebody you share relationship with. There has to be a relation. That's why the colonizers and the empiricists as we have them today, as we have them today, they will always use people from your own cycle, people from your own region, people from one of you, from within you, will be converted as enemy. Again, I take you again to the scriptures. The event of Jesus and the betrayer. It was one of the apostles that was used. It was never somebody that didn't believe in his work. No, it was never somebody that fought him or somebody that was openly challenging him. It was somebody that called him master that betrayed him. It was somebody that openly proclaimed their discipleship, their love for their master, that eventually handed him over. The same thing is applicable in our own situation. You look at the situation of our leader who betrayed him. Somebody, a group of persons that know him, that probably call him openly leaders. Where are those that call him, that claimed once that they are his disciples, or they are our leaders' disciples? Today they've already put themselves out there as even prime ministers and presidents of a country that hasn't even come to existence. But that tells you how it starts. It's always that person that proclaimed their love for you, that says that I am following your footsteps, and that person you know, that's the one to cause much trouble for you. Could be from family. And the drama we are witnessing today, we should not be surprised. Because enemy can be found even in the family and from within your own relation. Biological relation. Enemy can be found. But our greatest problem, for which we are not even able to identify when the enemy has taken over, or when our enemy from, I'll say in this case, remote enemy, somebody in our own context, so you would say Britain is our remote enemy. People in the politics of Nigeria that are not Biafrans themselves are our remote enemy. But when your remote enemy wants to get you, they operate remotely, they do all their planning remotely, but the execution of their scheme, of their plan, of their decision is always being carried out by someone who is inside, not them who are on the outside. It has to be someone who is on the inside. You have to be in the system in order to impact on the system. The greatest problem we have as Biafrans, and as we go further in the pursuit for freedom, this problem is manifest. It is revealing. We are seeing how significant the issue is. It is the fact that we've abandoned some of the ideologies, some of the rich philosophies that guided and regulated our relationship between one another, the way we carried out ourselves, the way the kind of that, I'm talking about the thinking that formed our relationships. I'm talking about the ideas that underlined and regulated how we acted collectively as one people. The ideas that bring greater ideas of obligation, say we are obligated to do something like that. We have to do it because in our culture, this is what is required. It becomes an obligation. These were the philosophies that we've lost in our own time. And one of them, which I like to always give example of, but that's just one. There are a lot of them, but one is clearly what we call Igwe Iyke. It is a concept. I have been working on this concept. It's so rich and it's fascinating because we do not even have time to reflect on what we say. Oh, Igwe Iyke age group. Oh, Igwe Iyke. But if you look at the concept of Igwe Iyke, which I'm not going to go in depth, but I'm just going to just briefly reflect on that before I hand over the microphone to my colleagues. But the concept of Igwe Iyke, what actually are we saying? For me, I think the fundamental philosophy upon which indigenous people of Biafra IPOB is built is on Igwe Iyke. It's not exclusively, but it is essentially the Igwe Iyke that gave birth to our structure today. Yeah, we have Onyagara Nwanne, but Onyagara Nwanne is also connected to Igwe Iyke. Why Ige is saying Onyagara Nwanne? It's because Igwe Iyke ayiri Igwe amaka mma. That is why people say, oh, is IPOB democratic? No, we are not democratic. Is IPOB quasi-military? Yeah, we sort of military, but we have a philosophy that is indigenous in character. Our philosophy is Igwe ecology. That's why from the beginning, director brought radio, another person brought wire, another person brought microphone, another person contributed money. That has been how we have been functioning. Nobody from politician could buy IPOB over with their money, because this has become a truly project of the people. It is the people's project, but it is a project that we have been carrying out under the impression, or with the understanding, I should say, that Igwebike, it is an Igwebicological project, that together, united, we can achieve it. Igwebike is a powerful philosophy that we don't look at. And I say Igwebicology. I add ology because in Greek, logos means study, science of. So Igwebicology means the study, the science of working together, cooperation. It's a deep, profound philosophy that if we leave it out, if somebody who is now from where we come from and is studying, researching about Igwebike and looking at the deep meaning of our philosophy, then they would say, but how can we not living that out? How come this does not even reflect in the way? Because if we embrace and internalize this, then there is no way we will remain slaves in Nigeria. But it's because, again, we've lost touch with who we are. Because I like to say this, when you tell people to return, to abandon the colonial mentality and embrace the mentality of a freed person, something has to give in. Something has to replace something. If you remove what is there, you must replace it with what should be. And as we are rejecting colonial ideologies that have for centuries rendered us as slaves, we must bring to life our own indigenous ways of reasoning and thinking, our own rich indigenous philosophies, ideologies. And we must highlight always the impacts these have in our activities. We also must highlight why it is morally contingent, morally important that we return. Returning to root means returning to who we are. But who we are includes also how we think, how we reason, and how the way we reason, the wisdom of the ancient, the wisdom of our ancestors can empower us to achieve what we want to achieve in our own time. Igwebike is what we lacking. Without Igwebike, we will be acting as individuals, and that's what we're experiencing. We have politicians who are acting pretty much like individuals. They might be representing House of Assembly from representative from Orumba South, or representative from Ugwaba North, all those kind of things. But actually, they're not representing the people; they're representing themselves. Because at this point in our collective existence, we do not have a binding philosophical force. Every nation, every indigenous people have a binding ideology. We have a lot of those ideologies that could possibly put us together. They are meant to put us together and guide the way we work together to achieve a collective purpose. But we're not living these out. We're not practicing them. You go to America, America is all about pragmatism. What works and how that, you see where that has taken America to. You come to Australia, Australia is egalitarianism. You can never say you are bigger than this. The same equality for everybody. Australia and Canada, egalitarianism. What is it about us as a people? Igwebicology. The problem we are facing today in Igbo land, in Biafra as a whole, is that individuals now, they are all on about individual goals. They've weaponized individualism to the detriment of the collective. They have weaponized their political positions, and they're using this just to achieve their own thing. Everything is about them. It's all revolves around them. Selfishness, individualism, this is killing us. Because that is why somebody will tell you, oh, we are now utter nonsense. Oh, we don't recognize the leader. We don't do this. And some people say, that's a lie. We have always had leadership. Those that, I'm not talking about the colonial chieftain. No, I'm not talking about the kind of leadership that come with colonialism. Or that we have now still as a result of colonialism. I'm talking about Igbo indigenous concept of leadership. There has always been a clear designation of leadership in Igbo land. Go and make your research. The democratic principles that the West today see themselves as apostles of democracy, they got it from you. They learned it from us as indigenous people. We did it first. These are the values we have. And we had clear leadership. Clear leadership. Clear leadership. Men are always overtly hierarchical. Nonetheless, it was all encompassing. There was clear demonstration in every aspect of our life of leadership. In family life, there was no question of leadership. There has never been until now. In society, everything was in order. I'm not saying we didn't have problems, and every society has its problem, but it has never been a leadership crisis as we are witnessing. Without our leader emerging and forming the IPOB, we would have all gone by now. And that's why till today, he is the leader we have. We don't recognize no other leader. You can wake up and say you are now the president of Biafra. That is only the Biafra of your dream. You are not a president. No, you're not. This whole idea where you have a leader and another person comes out and say, no, I'm now a leader, I don't recognize. Another person say, and then you go to a town, they have 3 kings, because one king does not recognize, the other village does not recognize the kingship, the legitimacy of the other kingship, the other one does not recognize the legitimacy, so there are 3 kings in one village. These are contrary to our value system. And it's as a result of us, our failure to practice our ideologies, our philosophies. One of it is Nnamdi. And the day I will have time, I'll talk more about that Nnamdi, so that we understand what we're talking about, how powerful that is. Nnamdi does not mean number. That's why our leader said from beginning, 100 people. And you could say, oh, no. People were calling those days, those years, and say, oh, our leader, you have to allow everybody to join in because we need to be many. He said, 100 people. Because Nnamdi doesn't mean multitude. Yeah, it does mean literal sense multitude. But philosophically, it means a united people, people bound by a purpose, people determined by the vision, people working united towards achieving the purpose of his existence. People preferring their freedom over every other thing. That's what Nnamdi means. That's what working as a collaboration, as a corporation, working together as a people, collectively. That's what it means. It was the collective aspect of it that is lacking. The unity aspect of it that has been lacking in Igbo land. That's why somebody want to be a president. Oh, it's the time for Igbo. But there are 5 of you who want to be president because we do not know how to come together to support one person. How to let my own personal interests and aspirations, how to submerge them so that another person could go, so that at the end, we don't lose out just because everybody want to be the same thing. We do not recognize that everybody will not be the leader of IPOB or the leader of Biafra. We do not recognize the importance of having a clear leader without somebody coming up there calling themselves barristers and calling themselves prime minister or calling themselves, I don't know other names they call themselves these days. Because our people like names. Everybody want to be chief doctor, professor this. They love this kind of thing. But that's when people are so much obsessed with titles and power, it's also a sign that they are empty. And clearly we are empty. When you lose the track of where you're going, of who you are, when you lose the idea of where you come from, when you lose touch, when you are not in touch with the philosophies of your people, your indigenous way of reasoning and thinking, their culture, your morality, then you lose everything. You start taking people's land because you don't understand that this is against culture. You can't steal somebody's land. You start stealing from people. You start doing yahoo. You start doing 419. And not only that, the people start clapping for you when you are doing all this evil thing. You start attacking your leaders. You start people working for you. You start working against them. You start killing so that you can have more power, have more money. That is when it is very clear that you've shifted away from who you are. That is why returning to who we are, which Mazi Iyke emphasized very much, must include returning to the ideas that protected our value system. Ideas that gave us how to reason and think together. And this is what IPOB is all about. And that is why we must continue. Because our work is more than just political freedom, political self-determination, economic emancipation. It's more than that. It's a holistic liberation we're talking about. Liberation from everything that oppresses. And so this is an enormous task. And that is why we are having challenges. Because of the reason. But that is why we must remain resolute and remain under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi. No other leader, no political, we don't have ambassador. We do not have prime minister or president, ceremonial or elected. We do not have all those. These are criminals. And we told you from the beginning who they were. They came to you with the things you like. They said the same thing that your leader would have said in order to get to you. Because if they said something contrary to what your leader would have said, you would have rejected them earlier. Now they've got into you, they have showed you their true character, and you are shocked. But we told you before. And on this note, I'll hand over to my colleagues. Mazi Iyke, can you please take over? Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk to our people tonight. It's a great opportunity. Every time we get on here, we get the privilege of passing on the message, our ideas to our people, the reason why we are doing what we are doing, and the reason why it is necessary for us to change our thinking. There is a saying that the thinking is the man. The only thing that makes Mr. A different from Mr. B is the way they think. And if you get the thinking right, you get the right result. So the problem of our people is not understanding the way to reason, the way to approach issues, the way to see reality, and to accept the dictates of reality. In IPOB, it's a culture we are building that your subjective balance, your personal ideas, your personal initiative cannot be superimposed on the collective ideology, the collective um, opinion. That is why our leader once said that when referendum comes, it is only one man, one vote, and there is nothing that is going to change it. So we are not going to run a Biafra where, because some people think it's going to be a good business, whatever they say goes. Because we are the king makers, whatever we say goes. Oh, because we are the inakakus, we are the people with the power. Whatever they say would be the norm. No, he said this, that it is he as the leader of IPOB, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, he has no right to dictate to any nation what they want to be. What does that mean? It is the people that will determine where they are going to be. It is the people that are going to determine how they are going to be governed. It is the people that will determine the results they will get in life. Now, this translates from the idea of one person dictating for the whole people how to live a good life, to the people dictating and deciding for themselves why we need this kind of life. That simply infers that when we act as a group, we decide on a thing as a group. No one interest is pursued or counted more important than the other. Rather, the collective interest is done. Let me give us an example. Back in the days when we had village meetings and they decide to sink a borehole, we do not go. Yes, Mr. Keke will say, oh, no, it's in my compound that they will dig the borehole so that I will not be traveling to very far to fetch water. No. What are the factors that determine where that borehole will be situated? Depends, number one, the centrality of it, so that it is not too far from Okeke and it is not too far from Okafo. Neither is it too far from Okonkwo or Okoye. Now, that is the first factor. Secondly, they are not sinking the borehole because Mr. Okeke has water. They are sinking the borehole because Mr. Okeke needs water. Mr. Okafo, Okoye, and Okonkwo, they all need water in the society, in the community. Now, this is the difference of collectivism and individualistic principles. When people think about themselves, they do not consider the consequences of their action to others, the consequences of their action to the community. All they think about is the benefit. That is why you will have people like in this community we live in the Western world. They will want to build a structure and they will ask the community, do you want this in the community? And then the community will say, no, it's going to be noisy. We want the serenity, the calmness that we have in this our community. We don't want you to build an airfield around here. And they will go, okay, we're not going to situate this airfield around here. But in our society, you will have one man wake up because he owns a jet port or whatever, a jet, he will go and clear the whole village and build airport for himself. He's not caring about the consequences of his actions to his neighbor. All he cares about is, I need to use my jet plane. So I don't care what they think. I don't care if they need it. I don't care if it's going to kill people. I don't care the hazards of this in this environment. All I care is the money that comes from it. For me, not for the community. This is the level of thinking that we want to change. All of the things that we are having today to deal with as IPOB members stem from this wrong conception, the perceptual irony, the malady in the perception of our people. The leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Iyke, I will give you an example, is in detention. He's been denied bail. He's been denied access to medical examinations, to medical, to medvac, to whatever you call it. All his rights as a human being has been infringed upon. And no human being is saying anything about that. But why is he there? He is there for the communal subjugation of his people. He's not there because of a crime he committed for his benefit. He's not there because he slapped the president. Oh, you are insulting me. He's not there because he challenged the military. Oh, you guys don't know how to shoot gun. I am the king of knowing how to shoot gun. No. He is there because he has challenged the atrocities that's been committed against his people, against the people of Biafra. Yes, you would say Mazi Iyke is also Biafran, so he's suffering from it. But is he really? Tell yourself the truth. Ask yourself, is Mazi Iyke really suffering from these subjugations that he's talking about? He talks about our businesses being destroyed. Yesterday, we saw that happening in Alaba. So today, nobody will say anything. No human being, be it the reps, be it the people that are in Senate, be it the governors, your people, their businesses are being destroyed. None of them is saying anything. Now, imagine the fire and brimstone that Mazi Iyke would be spewing if he was out in a place that he could lend his voice to this. And then you tell me, oh yeah, he's Biafran as well. Does he own any property in Alaba that was being destroyed? The answer is an emphatic no. Oh, Mazi Iyke talks about the stealing of properties of public fund by politicians and all of that. And then, oh yeah, it affects him. How? He has a very good life, living abroad, having everything that he can think of. He doesn't need your good road. He doesn't live there. He doesn't need your job. He has his own private consult. He doesn't need your medical facility. He is out there. He has right to every medication, to every medical attention as a British. Oh, his kids he's worried about the university fees and the ASO strike that is happening. Are his kids going to go through that? Ask yourself, does it concern him? Will his kids ever go to university in Nigeria? Will they ever know what is ASO strike? Will they have to deal with the non-compliance, the moribund curriculum that they use in that country? The answer is no. But you ask yourself, why is this man vested in sacrificing his life to say about these things that do not to a 2% affect his personal life? It goes back to what our people say about unity, communalism, knowing that the pain of your brother should be a pain to you as well. The difficulties of your brother should be a difficulty to you as well. But today, look at him. Look through the stress. Look through the glass and see the problem. Mirror the life of Mazi Iyke. Ask yourself, mirror the life of Mazi Iyke. Ask yourself, if this is me, will I take this? Will I continue to fight? When all I know should be to just say, hey, I'm tired, I'm not doing this thing again. Give me my share of this national cake. And that is it. But he has refused to throw in the towel, not because of the personal benefits, but because of the communal benefits that he has envisaged. And the most annoying thing about it is that the people he's suffering from are deluded. They live in delusion. They believe that their lives has no proclivity to what this man is asking for. They believe that they are okay because they wake up in the morning. They believe, oh, it's part of life. Where this is not life. So, the main concept of IPOB is to change the idea of our people, the perception of our people on how we structure events, how we structure happenings, how we interpret, how we give meaning to the things that happen around us. Today, if someone jumps in this country, if someone commits suicide, maybe let's say someone jumps from the bridge into the river, they don't just look at it and say, yeah, one of those things, he just died. They have to check for the mental health of that person. For his family members, the effect is going to have on the family members around him, the ones that have survived the trauma, and the community. And also they will take action to stop people. That place, they will go, okay, people can actually go through this place. The hazards in that area, they will change it, that people cannot just, it's either they put a cage or they put no pedestrian on this area. This is what they do. But in your country, Nigeria, what do they do? If someone jumps from Third Mainland Bridge today and jump into the ocean, all they say, Oh, another person. He thinks his own problem is bigger than our own problem. These are the masses talking. No one takes into account what has happened. And the government, nothing. That bridge will still be there. If the next person wants to jump, you are welcome to jump in. They don't care about the family. They don't care about the society, the trauma, the effect of that to any human being. This is the thinking that we need to change. And this is why IPOB is doing this. This is why we are on radio talking to you guys. This is what we have seen. And then we have compared and contrasted it to what we had in our motherland. And we know that the only way to change it is this mission. Changing a rule is not just the problem, but enforcing the rule is the main problem. I will give you a perfect example. If you go to the laws of Anambra State, they might say there that every last Saturday of the month should be a cleanup day. But is it enforced? Now, you might have people standing on the way to enforce that people do not go out when the cleanup exercise is happening. But those people that are there to enforce it will be the same people to tell you, one natural something can happen. That is our mentality. And then the man that says, no, the rule says you have to wait till 10. I'm not going to let you go past this gate until it's 10. The next person will be like, you are doing it like your own thing. Like your father, is your father the owner of this business? You see people not understanding it. The rule is there already, but is it enforced? And all of this boils down to the mentality, the way we put meaning to things. Are you seeing it as needful, or are you seeing it as subjugation? Now, the problem is that the things that are subjugation, the things that make us subservient to people in Nigeria, we have accepted as normal. That is why you wake up, you go to a house or a shop that you bought and paid for things with your money, and it's destroyed, and you have no right whatsoever to ask for indemnity. No right whatsoever to be indemnified for a wrong that has been done to you. That is what they see. They see Mazi Iyke as, oh, helpless. Is it not if the president wants, he will release him? But we are telling them, it is not if the president wants. He's not a criminal. That is, it lies under the prerogative of the president to give presidential pardon. No, that applies to condemned criminals, not condemned, to people who are incarcerated because they have a verdict on them. This is someone who has not been found guilty of any charge, and the court has given a verdict for release, and you are going back to say, oh, president, please release him. Oh, president, please do this one, please. It is not in his right to hold him for a second. But because we have this skewed mentality of being subservient, of being lackeys, of being charlatans, of being servants. We do not understand what we should do and what is our right. We think everything should be politicized. No. Rules and rights should not be politicized. And this is why we are bringing this information to our people. The more we understand who we are, the more we understand what we should be doing as a people. That is the leeway to our success, to our liberation, and to the restoration of dignity to our life. I tell you what, if the possibilities that we have in Biafra land is presented to any other people anywhere in the world, the problems we have, the malady we have in our place will not be experienced at all. I will stop thus far, and I will want you to take time to ruminate about this, to think about what we've talked about. Are your thinkings right? Am I thinking the right way? Am I giving meaning to things happening the right way? And the more we understand and evaluate and reevaluate our decisions, it will help us to come to the place of accepting wrongs that we've done, accepting to do right, and accepting to grow as a people and not as an individual. We will understand that it doesn't matter what we think, it matters the benefit of our thinking to the growth. It doesn't matter how rich we are still equal to other members of the community when it comes to communal interest. Thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you for that smooth and more in-depth analysis, looking at issues the way they are, and bringing it home. Thank you so much. I will, stand on the existing prayers and protocols to commence. We have been thinking deep. We have been studying Nigeria for quite a while. We are those, I refer in my own terminology as those who have crossed that intersection of confused and undecidedness. We are this family of IPOB. Because we are still held at gunpoint in Nigeria. That is why we still mention or refer to issues that are happening there. We are sick to the highest level of that country. And I tell you, a lot of people are sick of that country. And that is why Mazi, befittingly calls them names that befit them by saying, are you sick of this situation? And do you still go back and shout one Nigeria. That person must be crazy. When he says it, those who are sitting on the fence or those who are still waking up wonders what he's saying. The country is rotten to the core, and there is nothing, as Mazi Iyke said, that will save that country. It is a house built on a pile of sand. The foundation is not strong. Those whose reach, who have the reach to make it better, are making it worse. They have borrowed and squandered the youthful age of Nigeria. Tell me, how is it going to work? They have continuously lied. They have deprived innocent indigenous peoples of Nigeria, including indigenous peoples of Biafra, their God-given right and space. It is not going to work. Now, I will go to the sequence of my presentation today. I, in the most clearest term, ask the Nigerian government to release Mazi Nnamdi, who has done nothing wrong, who has defeated them in their courts, different jurisdictions of an international standard. Mazi Nnamdi have defeated them in their courts, and the cases that are still hanging or that are still pending, the Nigerian government is not coming forth or is actually dodging or avoiding appearing to court. Now, the young man's health is not how it should be. He has a serious health which they all acknowledge, yet they are denying him a befitting medical treatment. He would not run away from the case. He would not abandon the struggle. That is sure. All of us will not as well. So allow him to be healthy and continue whatever you want to do. Allow his doctor to see him. We have made this effort time without number. He deserves. He is still innocent. He won most of the cases. So he's not a criminal. Why are you holding Mazi Nnamdi against all odds, against international bodies that have said release him, against the court orders, against his will, against the will and wishes of the Biafran people? He is our leader. God is our witness. He is the most popular, the most acclaimed, the most well-received leader of our time. It's not a joke. We are not making it up. You are holding him, you are holding us. And the anger is boiling. The anger is increasing. And we call on all our chiefs. We call on all powers that are in Biafran land to fight for us. We call on those deities that we have to go and fight for us. Wherever the cabals are, use the same method that Mazi has evoked in the past to fight everybody that is holding Mazi Nnamdi. As we are speaking in these terms, they may be deceived to believe that that's all we could do. But God is our witness that we will not let anything happen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They killed Abiola, and as soon as he died, they started sharing money to pacify those who would do something about it. They also bribed his son to keep him quiet and keep him on the side of the government. You would hear that the son of Excellency have served the government in several areas. And if you ask him about what happened to his dad and what happened on that day, you would hear from his voice that he has also been pacified. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's own will not be like that. You cannot bribe the indigenous peoples of Biafra. I know they listen. Mazi also says that they are listening. You cannot. You better release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu alive to go and treat himself. We're not asking. There's no medical system in Nigeria. That is obvious. They voted millions of dollars to build a clinic, a simple clinic in Asurok. Those liars that occupy Asurok ate and shared the money. There's no clinic even there. That's how low they operate. That clinic will serve them there in Asurok. They couldn't build it. What is the fate of those who live outside Asurok? There's no hospital system in Nigeria. There's no medical system in Nigeria. The other day I listened to somebody who happened to be in a meeting where they tried to sell they called it Nigerian medical system to an American organization. And one of the things that came out was the ability to harvest organ without the consent of the patient. It was argued, and the senators or the lawmakers of the Nigerian government, including Ike Kwerimadu, yielded to the company to take over the medical system, and organ harvesting would not be. A patient must not consent before organs are taken. I'm saying what has been published. So, in this first edition or section of my presentation, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health is paramount. Is greater than anything they are talking or discussing in Nigeria. Whether they want to remove subsidy or add subsidy or do whatever they want to do, his health is paramount. And his health is what we are concerned about now. DSS is similar to CIA in America. The DSS is where they are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The DSS constitutes a reasonable part of the cabal that exists in Nigeria. The change of government recently have not changed the cabal. The cabal is the group holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm breaking this down into pieces so that our people will understand who and what is happening in Nigeria. One of the ex-DSS, when he was analyzing the break-in to the Defense Academy, the Nigerian Defense Academy, stated how they brought in Buhari and made a link that they have to convince the CIA of America to believe that the DSS of Nigeria have vetted the candidate and believe that Buhari will be the best candidate. That was how even they convinced Obama to send his political campaign chief to come and assist Buhari in his campaigns and electioneering. These are facts, they are open. If you Google what I'm saying, you will see scholarly articles on them. So we know who is holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we are telling them directly that they should release him. We will fight them in spirit and in person. They should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is no longer about the election. The elections are over. They have done their elections and declared what they want to declare. They don't want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu alive. This is what we have seen, and this is what we are concluding. And we are saying it so that the whole world, the whole people of Biafra, the whole Nigerian, other regions of Nigeria will understand what we are saying. So that when the music starts sounding, nobody will blame us. We know that the UK government is an accomplice. Otherwise, they have the power to influence the cabals in Nigeria. After all, they train them. They train the DSS of Nigeria. They work with them. They have the intelligence here and there to monitor what is going on. But they have kept quiet because it favors them that Nigeria is unstable, so that they can twist the hands of those morons that are leading Nigeria and be sucking the oil as much as they want. They are the ones in front of the oil exploration, oil producing gas, whatever. They send their oligarch companies to be at the front and give them covering fires by putting their naval ships around them to make sure that they drill the oil as much as they want without fear, with impunity, and without considering the damage they are causing to the people. That was why Sariwa was killed. Indirectly by the shell that felt threatened by his demand to have his place isolated from the devastating oil drilling and what they are doing around there. That was why they kept a blind eye, and 9 Ogonis were killed and dissolved in acid. You wouldn't hear Britain say anything because that is where they're getting the oil. Their national interest is at stake. As such, every other human being, it means nothing. Well, Nigeria already have collapsed. Financially, Nigeria has collapsed. You can see how they are running helter-skelter. The last I heard, the most recent, was that they have increased the cost of electricity by 40%. As if the common masses were able to pay the price that they tagged it. As if they were even supplying electricity. You are increasing electricity for who? Who can pay that price? You are increasing the price for electricity that you are not supplying. I told some of my cousins the other day, they were talking about buying transformer in the village. I said to them, Nigeria has got no electricity. If you doubt, you travel out to places where electricity is supplied 24 hours, 7 days a week on a continuous basis. And when there will be outage, you will be notified, and they will tell you how many minutes that outage will last. And thereafter, electricity will be supplied. You will not lose any valuable in your fridge, and you will not you wouldn't even know that power has gone out. And the power remains steady. It becomes, if it is 240 volts, that's what you will have within that 24 hours times 7 times 360 throughout the whole year. Nigeria has got no power. They don't have electricity, and they're increasing the price. That's how greedy they are. That's how greedy the current the person that stole the election, the last election. That's how greedy he was. They said he developed Lagos from a 6 billion economy to a 600 billion economy. By doing what? Creating tax, almost stealing money from those who are running commerce in Lagos. And who are those running that commerce in Lagos? The Biafrans. I say it with every authority. The Biafrans. That was why he failed in the election. And the following gubernatorial election, they came out with machetes and guns, naming and killing Biafrans in broad daylight. If you conduct a free and fair election in Nigeria, in Lagos, 50 million times, the Biafrans living there will win. It is obvious. That is why they have continued the physical attack on their means of livelihood. Biafrans, you should wake up. There's no covering it, there's no glossing it. This is what is happening. There's no shying away from it, because if you shy away from it, if you do not cure this problem, you might be the one coming back from work, coming back from leisure, and they will see you as a Biafran. You look different, of course. You act different. Your self-pride will implicate you. They will kill you because you are proud to be who you are. So what are you doing there? Why are you guys not organizing? This is the reason we keep talking. So Nigeria has collapsed. it is not a joke. They have borrowed. They have Nigeria is suffering what we call excruciating pain due to the huge debt they have incurred. They don't have the ability to repair all the loans that have borrowed from nooks and corners everywhere. They don't have that ability. As such, they are defaulting. They will continue to default on some of the loans that they have borrowed, and some of them are imminent. And if you look around the world, most European countries are the economy are in distress, and because they are in distress, they will not allow Nigeria to go free. Instead, they would rather increase the oil. If they cannot increase the oil, they will encroach into the quota of the oil that is produced, that the Nigeria is using to service the loans. This is what is happening. This is why all of a sudden they are talking about removal of subsidy. I'll come to that. So this imminent financial crisis that is about to explode or implode in Nigeria will affect civil servants. They may not have money to pay civil servants. The allocation to the military will even be affected. This, what I'm telling you, is real. And this is why all this withdrawal of subsidy and increase in tax here and there. Of course, it will not work. If you task someone who doesn't have one dime in their pocket, they won't be able to pay. At worst, you will remove the light, you will disconnect them. This will happen. If you tax someone who you haven't paid salary, extra 50% of what they used to pay in light, Maslow's law would take place. Maslow's law of economics says man would first of all eat. They eat, they find shelter. They find shelter, they start then looking for other luxury. Electricity is one of, is probably on, the fourth class of it. It's a luxury. That is why Nigerians have survived many years without electricity. So, the federal government is campaigning around trying to increase price here and there, pretending as if they're trying to raise money as they did in Lagos. Where are you going to raise this money? There's no light in most, even in most remote villages, there's no electric poles in remote areas. The cities that exist in Nigeria do not have light. As I've said, they don't have light. Light that is not full current, that does not last for more than a week without being stopped. No business can function that way. So, the economy of Nigeria is collapsing, and they are running around trying to find out what would happen. This will equally affect the state allocations. The money they give to the states will be cut down further. Quote us here in Radio Biafra, we tell you the truth. We told you guys about the financial situation of Nigeria before, and you saw what is happening. It is not even us alone. Obaseki, the governor of Bendel State, said that the central bank prints the money that they give to states to share. That means the economy is falling. So don't mind this temporary stability. The next time will be a free fall, and it will then be clear to Nigerians what is happening. the British government or the European Union might say, "Oh, we can come and help you, give you some," in order to buy favor because of the war they have created in Ukraine. So, what I'm saying, the removal of subsidy, according to them, will save 3.5 trillion naira. And some voices, some of those who criticize the government says, tell us what you are going to do with the 3.5 trillion naira that you're going to save. They haven't answered that because the subsidy they were talking about before didn't exist. So they removed the subsidy that didn't exist. Before, what they do is if they sell 100 barrels of crude to, say, Britain, well, Britain might need 60% of it. The rest of the 40%, when it is refined, Nigeria brings it back and distributes it to its allies, especially through NNPC. And whatever money those dealers on petroleum gives them, that becomes the revenue. Of course, there are a percentage of crude sold that foreigners use to service their loans. So what they said that they are removing is a guise to increase the price of petroleum. That's all it is. Because if they actually saved 3.5 trillion naira, do you know what that could do? If you convert it to dollars, you see how many millions of dollars it is and how many roads that could build. That is a fake amount, and we cannot be deceived. Here in Radio Biafra, we will expose them. They do listen to us, we will expose them. We will devote more time. Next Wednesday, we will devote more time on the subsidy and make Nigerians aware that it all has fallen. Even the whatever bread Nigeria is breeding has been reduced. So there's no magic about it. It will collapse. So it will affect wages and salaries. It already started. It says since the election, they said they printed money. They haven't printed money. Still, there's not enough money in circulation. Something deep is happening. And if you listen to some of the exposition that is coming out around the CBN governor and the EFFCC or EFCC, whatever they are, you will understand that there is a problem, and Nigerians should resist the increase in electricity. If they want to remove the power, most people have their generator. Let them remove their power line and see how it goes. It's a ploy, it's a task to sustain a fallen nation. We should not go with that. And I will start summarizing because we have probably spent much time. So the marginalization of Biafrans are continuing. They are destroying and depriving properties belonging to Biafrans in Lagos, not only in Lagos, but in other places. And if if somebody is sincere, let's do this analysis. If the Lagos government is sincere about it and they want to demolish buildings that are not stable or buildings that seem to be falling, as soon as you finish demolishing them, you, the government, would have to build it back and bring in the same people that were occupying it to go there and occupy it with compensation. That is how it is done here. About 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I was involved in leasing a shop, somewhere around 401 George Street, Sydney. I'm saying it so that people who know Sydney know what I'm talking about. That lease, the contract of that lease stated that in a year or two to come, that George Street will be converted to a monorail service. And what the government did was to pay all businesses that are on George Street, put them on payroll to ameliorate the losses they are going to encounter because of the construction that will go on for 5 years. And those who do not want to be or who are highly affected were paid off. That is sincerity of purpose. That shows that you care for those who trade in your state, those who pay tax to the tax that accumulates and becomes the economy of the state. You don't tell them to pick their goods up within 3 hours, otherwise you will demolish their goods and their shops together. Do you hear how that sounds? Go and get your goods within 3 hours, otherwise we will crush everything. It's humiliation of the highest order. And they are doing it because we are Biafrans. And we kneel down, we put our 2 knees down and our face up and call on the God of creation. We call on all gods of goodwill to visit Lagos government leaders, to visit all those who are doing this to us. If we are wrong, the gods should judge us. So, having listened to all this, having seen all this, what are we doing? This is the question I have been asking people. Yes, we are lamenting. Yes, Nigeria is falling. Nigeria is collapsing. Yes, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is held against all odds, against all authorities. What are we doing? Having listened to our discussions this evening, our broadcasts, presentations, what next? What are we doing collectively? What are you doing as an individual? Are you still hissing sighs? Are you still shouting? Are you still sharing posts or only commenting on messages? We as IPOB is providing a credible leadership of this struggle. If not by continuing the mobilization, by making sure Radio Biafra is on and alive with facts and figures, informing our people, and actually putting it to the fake Nigerian government. You should be following. You that is listening, you should follow. We humbly ask that you should follow, and you should follow faithfully. I and we collectively understand the dangers or the dangerous Nigerian terrain. However, doing nothing is not an option. It's not an option at all. In fact, it is a dead option, because if you do nothing, what is happening to our people will continue. They will continue demolishing our shops. Mazi Nnamdi said it. First of all, they will demolish your shops, and they will come and take your houses. When they start taking over houses that are not demolished, the clip where Mazi Nnamdi said this will be shared everywhere, and they say, "Hey, Mazi Nnamdi said it." We can stop it by mobilizing. We can stop it by organizing. They are not superior to us in any way. Lagos is still in Nigeria as long as they have not given us a referendum, as long as we haven't left Lagos or Nigeria, we are still part of that system. And we will win them in any court of jurisdiction. If you have your title, if you have your papers that gives you right to be in your house, but you need to organize. It is not one man's job. So they are killing us through their ignorance. Nigeria is the most ignorant nation I can think of. Nation as in the leadership. The leadership is ignorant. If they are not ignorant, things wouldn't be the way it is. They are killing us with their ignorance. They are killing us physically with their counterinsurgents, their headsmen, their unknown soldiers. They are killing us through absence of hospitals and other infrastructures. And this is why we must now begin to mobilize more than we have ever mobilized. And we should increase all efforts. We should strategize more to be prepared for their next onslaught. Biafra is our final destination. There's nothing in Nigeria that is attractive. That is making us to turn around. No. And we have already crossed the Rubicon, as Mazi said. And that is the direction we're going. The direction of restoring Biafra as an independent nation. I will stop by praying that may Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Guide and protect IPOB family worldwide. Guide and protect our hosts and other people that host us under this platform, Radio Biafra. Guide and protect all freedom fighters and freedom lovers. And by this, I will hand over to Mazi Peter. Thank you very much for being patient and giving us this opportunity. And thank you all Biafrans for your audience and loyalty. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your broadcast today. I don't know how to address it, but I welcome you every Wednesday to this program. The guys are not doing badly at all, and we are happy that this program has finally come to a conclusion. The advice is taken by those who want to listen, but those who don't want to listen, well, there's nothing we can do. All I can say to you guys is, let's move again till next week. We'll be back together. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. We are live, broadcasting live from New York City under the auspices of our mother station, Radio Biafra London. Our leader's name is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has warned you, told you all the things that you need to know. Accepting what he has said is your own problem. It has nothing to do with us. We know that he's never said anything that is not that didn't happen, and this is not going to be an exception. They will take your business, they will destroy your business, they will finally take your homes. He has told you that, and it is beginning to happen step or the other. Not only our leader, even the people that will perpetrate that evil already warned you. We had Farouk Adamu, and the Shetima, the man that is deputizing, what's his name? Tinubu. They are going to deal with you guys. Everybody's coming up. The fat-bellied one in the creek is making some noise. That we don't want to bother about, because we know that he has already accused the army and the navy as being the thieves. The army are the people stealing the Nigerian oil, and this, that's a good thing. And now you have more. Yesterday I saw him fat as he is, sitting down, showing us brandishing rifles and submachine guns to the entire people of the world, not just to us. And then he's going to kill any Biafran he sees, no problem. This is a man that went to Aso Rock. The president of a nation came outside and shook hands with him, just to convince us that yes, now he's got a killer. We shall see. There's nothing to say anymore. If anybody wants to make a call, you want to say something because we're listening to them, you have about 10 more minutes to go on the program, so we can still take your calls at 646-920-4541, 845-344-7984, 929-406-9953. You can call. The lines are very, very much open for you. Do your calls, say whatever you have in mind to say. You're very, 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 very welcomed. And with that, I will have to tell you there are a few informations here and there that we need to distribute. The 1 million man march is coming very, very soon. And please, I hope you participate in it if you live around the area and you are able to have time, create time for yourself to come and join in the 1 million man march, because it's something that we are doing for ourselves. We are resolute. We cannot go back in this quest, no matter what they do, no matter how much they try to blackmail us or to stop us. It is not going to work, because we know what we want, and what we want is our freedom, and our freedom is what we must get. The question of being very, very resolute. We are Biafrans. We have been created strong. No matter what they do, it's unfortunate for them that we are tough, and there is nothing any of them can do to stop what we are doing. We are resolute, and we remain resolute.
All those buildings are going to go between now and Monday.
So far, about 16 buildings within the Alaba International Market have been marked for demolition by the State Building Control Agency.
Especially Igbo traders in Lagos. Those set to go, they will destroy your businesses. After that, they will take over your houses. When I want you to be writing down what I'm saying.
That all those buildings are going to go between now and Monday.
So far, about 16 buildings within the Alaba International Market have been marked for demolition by the State Building Control Agency.
Especially Igbo traders in Lagos. Those set to go, they will destroy your businesses. After that, they will take over your houses.
That is very correct. It's already beginning to happen on a mind, or whether you want to take it, you don't want to believe it, you don't want to believe it, doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. The truth will always prevail. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi, is the prophet, the greatest prophet of our time. Nostradamus of our time, honestly. That's what I rather call him. Because whether you want it or you don't want it, it does not matter. It is come to pass. You can deny it all you want. You can stay there and they lie to you and say, hey, that man, he's just raving. It's happening. Oh. It's happening. You know, you have to be there. Let's go to Finland. This 1 million man march that is coming up, please. All right, sometimes the clip will not want to play.
1 million march, 1 million march, 1 million march. Hey, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB worldwide, wish to inform the general public about the upcoming events that will take place at Finland on the 7th July 2023 at the city of Helsinki at Lahti, Finland. For more information, call Mazi Iyke Foreign Osiwu Committee Moderator +485 793-32439 or 393-511-74478. Mazi Tony Mokunye +393-207-215-826. Mazi Ndubisi Osuala Netherlands +3168-486-0431. Williams Mwokedi National PRO of Finland +358-445-136-500 and Mazi Kalo Chukwuemeka, National Coordinator of Finland and the hosts +358-452-340-432. Let's tell the world about Biafra and unconditional release of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, we have to get ready for that. We know our leader must be released. Whether they like it or they don't like it, the longer they keep him there, the more calamities will be befalling all of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you can't change it, the only solution you have is that we have a breathing space. If you allow our leader Mazi Nnamdi, give him his deserved freedom. He didn't do anything. You just put him there because you think you have power. You have the muscle. It's okay, no problem. When the time comes, we shall know. Telling about the tour of our musicians to Japan. They've taken a tour to Japan. They're asking for free will donations for them.
Every night and day he's shouting and pointing to one direction, but his own people are blind and saying it's causing division. Tell me why someone who sacrificed his life for you and I? Tell me why out of sight has become out of our mind. He's asking for nothing and cares about not for these people emancipation. No, but there is a breaking news to those who never knew. Permit me to give you a clue. In the morning sunrise.
Concert bell. Biafrans and lovers of freedom around the world. There will be an all-stars concert tour of Biafra artists coming up soon in Tokyo, Japan. This concert is aimed at spreading the gospel of Biafra to every nook and crannies of the earth. We are bringing the gospel to the streets of Asia, and Tokyo, Japan will be its starting point. We are using this opportunity to appeal to Umu Chineke around the world to lend our music stars a financial helping hands to make this concert tour realizable. To make any donation, please contact Veteran Ike Peter on +1845 344 7984 or +1929 4069 953. You can also contact Mazi Iyke Foreign on +3935 1137 4478 or +4857 93 32439.
Okay, and I want to add to that you can make this payment or your donation. Let me not use the word payment. You can make this donation to your unit whatever IPOB family you belong to in any part of the world. You can do it there, give them the money, tell them what the money is for the purpose, the donation you're making it exclusively for the touring musicians that are going to go to Japan in September, and then collect a receipt of that. What we need you to inbox us is the receipt. I would be very obliged to have the receipt. You can also send it to OK Foreign, the receipt. The reason being that when the money comes out, it's more easier and it allows you actually, since you have been making your payment and you know exactly where you've been paying your dues, make it there. Get the receipt, send it to us so that when it's time to get the money, we'll get it from your unit. All right, this is Radio Biafra USA 2. I can see that time is gone already, and we have to move on to the next broadcaster that's coming in. Mazi Iyke is going to be here next. We want you all to think it's been nice talking to you. The Australians were here. They've given us the messages that we need to have for the day. So Mazi Iyke comes in next. Please stay tuned. Don't go away, because we still want to remind you that Biafra for us is our religion. And on Radio Biafra, that's what we worship. Stay tuned. Don't go away from me.